Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. There's a YouTube channel that I really like listening to, Lighthouse Horror. He does scary stories and creepypastas, or whatever we call them these days. And I've had this idea for a while, so I want to do a second episode for the channel today. And there's something really funny that's been going on with his channel. It's every single video is now about a set of rules. I went to work in a lighthouse and I was given a set of rules. I was given a car and I was given a set of rules. Everything. So obviously there's something's going on where he is led to believe that you must have a set of rules in the thumbnail and the title and the story in order to get traction on YouTube, in order to get views. And so today, just as a fun exercise, I love writing stories, right? It's a great exercise to write as much as you can, if you can come up with things impromptu. So today I'm going to come up with an impromptu creepypasta. I'm just going to make it up here on the spot. We'll play some scary music. We'll put on a campfire, and I will try to come up a scary story. And the scary story will be, I was given a set of rules. It came with a set of rules. And so, the least popular vacation spot in USA. Okay, so we're going to Alaska. The story will be about going to Alaska. I'm going to put on a campfire and let's go ahead and get started on I was given a set of rules. It came with a set of rules. This is something that happened to me a few years ago. At the time, I was a 19-year-old girl, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life at that point. I was given a job offer to look after a house, but it was in Alaska. I wasn't told if there would be anyone else living in the house, but the money was good, and I didn't really feel like going to my community college for the next 4 years. So I packed up my bags, said goodbye to my parents, and drove my 1994 Toyota Corolla out to Alaska. I almost didn't make it because the roads were quite slippery. There must have been some snowstorm that had happened the week before that I didn't know about. By the time I arrived in Alaska, it was a pretty nice day. The sun was shining. There didn't seem to be a lot of people in this small town where I ended up. I followed my GPS to a huge house out in the middle of the forest. I didn't see any other cars on the road for a while. When I pulled up to the house, there was a man standing out front, and he gave me a set of rules. This list of rules is very important, he said to me. Make sure you follow these rules and do not deviate from them. He had a weird look on his face, but before I could ask anything else about the house or the rules, he left. He had gotten to his truck and he drove away without saying any other word. I took my bag and my makeup purse out of my bag, because of course I was a 19-year-old girl and I wear makeup. And I went into the house. I looked around to see if there was anyone else there. I called out, "Hello." My voice resonated, lonely, empty, through the dark house. There weren't any lights on, and even though it was the middle of the day, it was pitch black, dark inside. My mind raced from all the things that could be hiding in the shadows. I have to admit, I was a little afraid because I enjoyed watching scary movies. I made my way to the dining room where there was a single lit candle. The man must have lit the candle for me. I opened the list of rules and read the list of rules. Rule number 1. Follow all the rules on the list of rules. Rule number 2. Don't go outside of your bedroom past 10:13 p.m. I wondered what that could mean, because if there was no one else staying in the house, why should I stay in my room? I thought it was a bit odd, but I continued reading the list of rules. Rule number 3. Don't put anything in the refrigerator. Food will be placed in the fridge, and you may eat anything out of the fridge, but don't put anything in the fridge. I wondered what that could mean. Maybe whoever was owning this house was maybe a little eccentric. Maybe they had a peanut allergy. And so I thought it was an odd rule, but I would follow it anyway. Rule number 4. Don't eat anything out of the pantry. I was allowed to look in the pantry. I could look at it, but I wasn't allowed to take anything out of the pantry. Was that rule number 4? I've already lost track. Rule number 5. Don't open the basement door. I thought I heard a shuffling sound behind me and turned around. I wasn't sure if I was imagining things and had just spooked myself. I looked around to see a door leading to the basement. I watched the doorknob intently. Had the sound come from the basement door? I got up from my seat and walked toward the basement door, and I started to put my hand on the doorknob, but then I stopped, thinking about rule number 5. Don't open the basement door. I thought maybe it would be best to follow the rules. I stepped back from the basement door and started walking towards the kitchen table again, where my list of rules was set. Then I heard a shuffling sound and I stopped. My heart skipped a beat, and it felt like 1,000 years had passed in the blink of an eye. My heart pounded against my chest as I waited to find out where the sound was coming from. Should I turn around? Should I open the basement door? I was certain I heard a sound, but maybe I was imagining things. A moment passed before I walked back to the table. I looked at the list. There were only 5 rules on that rule list, but the list of rules came with a list of rules. On the list of rules for the list of rules, there were rules. Rule number 1. Don't break any of the rules on list number 1. It seemed a little redundant to me. I wasn't sure why I was given a list of rules with a list of rules that told me not to break the rules on the list of rules, but I suppose it made sense. This list of rules was significantly longer. Rule number 2. Never read past rule number 7. And this is where my heart stopped. If I was supposed to follow all of the rules and follow the rules for the list of rules, how was I supposed to do that if I wasn't supposed to read past rule number 7? Rule number 3 on the list of rules for the list of rules. If you hear a sound past midnight, ignore it and go back to sleep. I thought this was a bit odd. Why would there be any other sounds if the house was empty and I was only watching the house? Rule number 4. Don't bring anything of the color purple into the house. I thought that was a bit odd, and I thought back to my makeup bag, which had purple makeup. Purple is my favorite color, and I thought it was odd that I wasn't allowed to bring anything purple into the house. I picked up my makeup bag and walked back to my car outside. I set my makeup bag back in the trunk, not wanting to break any of the rules. The paycheck was supposed to be quite good. The snow started falling, and it seemed like clouds were blocking the sky as I made my way back into the house. It seemed like the sun was starting to set, but that couldn't be right. I had only arrived at the house just recently, but now it seemed like the sun was about to set. Did I just lose track of time reading the rules? Did I lose track of time reading the list of rules for the list of rules? No, I couldn't have. I was certain I was there for less than an hour. The sun started setting, and it was getting dark. Maybe this is just how things were in Alaska. It was getting cold. I thought I should check to see if there was any wood for a fireplace. But before doing that, I went back to the table to finish reading the list of rules. I thought about the rule that said to not read past rule number 7, and so I thought I'd better read up to rule 6. I walked to the table, went back to the sheet of paper where the list of rules for the list of rules was written, and my blood ran cold. There was a second list of rules where the list of rules had been. My eyes darted around the room, looking for anyone, anything. Why was there a third list of rules? I went back to my car to catch my breath. Was someone in the house with me? What could it have been? Did I imagine it? Maybe the third list of rules was always there, and I just hadn't noticed it. My vision started going blurry as I panicked. Maybe someone was in the house with me. I was a 19-year-old girl at the time, and I didn't know any karate. But my dad taught me how to fire a shotgun when I was 11 years old. And I thought, if this is Alaska, maybe there is a shotgun somewhere in the house. I felt apprehensive, but it was getting cold, and I thought I better go back into the house. So, I thought I was overreacting and went back into the kitchen. And there, my heart nearly fell out of my chest as I approached the list of rules for the list of rules. A fourth list of rules was there, sitting on the table, glaring at me. I hadn't even finished reading the list of rules for the list of rules, and I certainly wasn't going to read past Rule 7. My blood ran cold and sweat ran through my palms as I got closer to the list of rules. I picked up the 2 extra rule sheets that had appeared. There was no way I could have imagined it. These appeared when I had stepped outside of the house. I picked them up, picked up my bag, and went straight to my bedroom. I walked down the hallway where there was an arrow made out of paper on the ground. It must have been pointing to my room. I put my hand on the doorknob. It was as cold as ice. I pushed the door open, but it was heavy. It felt like it didn't want to open, almost like it didn't want me there. Maybe the door was warning me to leave. I stepped into the room. It was so dark, I could barely see anything. Why wasn't there any light coming through the window? I moved towards the window to see a sliver of moonlight creeping through, and suddenly felt sick. The window was boarded up. There were planks of wood being held in place by rusted nails. I felt like I was suffocating. There was no furniture in the room, and the wood was bare and old, almost as if the carpet had been torn up and thrown away. On the ground was a mattress, but it was odd. I expected it to be old and dirty, but it looked like it was brand new. I suppose the owner of the house had set it there for me. I closed the door behind me, but it felt like it didn't want to close. I had to force it shut. I didn't like the feeling of someone peeking in through the door, so I made sure to close it. It slammed shut. But for a moment I was worried. It felt like maybe the door wouldn't open again. I sat down on the mattress and looked at the extra set of rules for the set of rules. There were so many rules, I wasn't sure which set of rules to read first. Before getting to the third and fourth list of rules, I thought I better finish the second list of rules, and so I looked. The next rule on the list. At 11 p.m., clap my hands 11 times. At 11:30 p.m., I must yawn 11 times. It was odd. I wasn't sure what that was supposed to mean. Was someone watching me to see if I would clap? Was someone watching me to see if I would yawn? I checked my watch, and it was already 11 p.m. How did time pass so quickly? Was something wrong with me? I jumped up in a panic. I wasn't sure what I should do, but I wanted to follow the list of rules. At this point, I was desperate. I felt like I had to follow the rules, almost as if the rules had some control over me. I clapped my hands. Once. Twice. 3 times. 11 times. And suddenly, a wave of relief washed over my body. I had followed the rules, and I felt like I was finally safe. I would watch the time tick by. I couldn't look away from my watch. I waited for 11:30, and as soon as the second hand reached 11:30, I yawned. Once. Twice. 3 times. 11 times. But something went wrong. As I yawned the 11th time, something took control of my body. I couldn't help it, and I yawned a 12th time. And I had broken one of the rules. Was I allowed to yawn a 12th time? I wasn't sure, but as soon as I yawned a 12th time, I heard a creak, snap, bang, resonate from the other side of the house. Where did it come from? Did it come from the basement? I looked back at my set of rules to see if it would tell me what would go wrong if I broke any of the rules. I looked down at the list. I wasn't supposed to go outside my bedroom door, but something happened. The doorknob on my door started jiggling. It rattled, and I felt sick to my stomach. I quickly looked down at the list of rules. The next rule said, if the doorknob rattles, grab the door and don't let the door open. I didn't know what to do. Would the door open on its own? Would someone open the door? Would I find a terrible face waiting for me on the other side of the door? I tried to get up, but my legs buckled. I couldn't move. I was supposed to grab the doorknob, like the list of rules said, but I couldn't get up in time. The doorknob turned with a terrible groan, and with the sound of an earthquake, my door slid open. After a moment, a deathly silence fell over the room. The sound of my heartbeat flooded my head. It hurt. It was so loud. I almost begged for my heartbeat to stop so I could have peaceful silence. It was too dark. I couldn't see if there was anything on the other side of the door. My legs trembled as I tried to see. There was nothing there on the other side of the door. Nothing. At this point, I was terrified. I jumped back, finally able to move and grasp for the list of rules, but I wasn't sure which list of rules I had grabbed. I had 4 lists of rules. Desperate for any sense of security, for understanding, for information, I whipped my head down and looked and read the next rule. And that rule made my heart stop entirely. It read, Rule number 7. Never stop reading the list of rules. I thought I blacked out for a second. I had wished for my heart to stop beating, and it felt like it had stopped. And at that point, I'd wished I were anywhere but there. I nearly slipped on the floor. I thought the bottoms of my feet were so soaked in sweat, I couldn't gain traction as I stumbled out my bedroom door. I had broken another rule. With the list of rules crumpled up in my hand, I stumbled down the hallway and slipped. No, it wasn't that my feet were soaked in sweat. I had slipped on another set of rules. It couldn't be. Where had this list of rules come from? Desperate to get away, I made my way to the front door. I grasped for the doorknob. But there was no doorknob, only another list of rules. It couldn't be. Where had this list of rules come from? What was happening to me? Who put these list of rules here? I peered out the window, desperate to see my car, and under the silver moonlight, I saw the most terrifying thing I had ever seen. There, where my car was supposed to be parked, was another list of rules. I fell back from the window, not sure what to make of it. I ran as hard as I could for anything familiar. I made my way back to the kitchen table, but instead of the kitchen table was another list of rules. What was I supposed to do? And then I heard it. A footstep. A heavy thud. A creaking. Up a stairs. I slowly turned around, expecting to see the door that led to the basement. But it was gone. And in its place was another list of rules. I felt the list of rules pile up all around me. I struggled to find my footing, but soon I couldn't even feel the ground beneath me. There were too many lists of rules. I struggled to find some way to leave the room, but more lists of rules appeared. A small silver beam of moonlight streamed in through the window, and it cast light on the set of rules that came up from the basement. And as my vision cleared for just a moment, I saw it. If you ever want to leave, never leave the list of rules alone. That was pretty fun. That was just a fun exercise. I've had this idea for a while. I thought it would be fun to make that up on the spot. Did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy the list of rules? Came with the list of rules. Anyway, thanks very much for spending some time with me. I hope that was fun. If you liked the music that I used in this, that's music that I write. You can go ahead and head to my Patreon. Most of that stuff you can download for free. You don't even need to be a paid Patreon member. And then there's some stuff that's exclusive to Patreon members as well. Anyway, take care of yourselves and be well. Let me know if you like this and if you'd like me to try and do another episode like this. See you around. And watch out for the list of rules.